Hello GEPSAC students, this is Tony Jolly, your English tutor, talking to you by the miracles of new technology and YouTube attached to my website and potentially to emails I might be sending you. Anyway, some basic details, some basic outline of the course that we're going to be doing, the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, the how, all the question words in fact. Okay, first off, my name, Tony Jolly, T-O-N-Y, that's T-O-N-Y, Jolly, J-O-L-L-E-Y, J-O-2-L-E-Y, okay? Although you will find me on the University Annuaire under the name of Anthony Ian Jolly, if you need my email address, you are probably going to find it easier to use my Gmail address. Everything defaults to that, and it's T-J-O-L-L-E-Y, T-J-O-2-L-E-Y, arrobase gmail.com. Okay, tjolly@gmail.com. Another important piece of information for you, I suggest that you open up a web browser right now. You put my camera image to one side and you stop the camera rolling until you have put this piece of information in. This is my website address. I run pretty much everything off my website, sometimes with links to videos that I'm putting like this one on YouTube. So you need to know its address if you haven't found out its address in getting to this video. So it's Tonyversity/students. So www.tonyversity.com/students, okay? www.tonyversity.com/students. Please don't forget the students bit, otherwise you'll end up in another part of my Tonyverse where I exist online. So, one thing to know about Tonyversity is there is no login, there is no password for you to remember. It's just there and there for you, and I won't be taking it down. Okay, I've paid my hosting fees for a year. So while you're in my classes, this site will continue to exist for you. So if you would now like to look at that with me just in the background, you go to Tonyversity. What I would like you to do is to look at right across the very top of my website. There are a list of menus, okay? We call them tabs, T-A-B-S in English. You call them onglets. And you will see that apart from a couple on the left and one on the very far right, they are all based upon faculties where I teach. Now clearly you are in the FLSH, so if you put your cursor over the word FLSH, you will see a menu drop down in front of you, upon which you will see AGEC, as it was, or GEPSAC, as it now is, the name of your course. If you scroll down to AGEC GEPSAC, and you just leave your cursor there, don't click, you'll see another menu come out to the side of this course name. Those are things that we're going to be doing during our classes. Okay, I divide them up into what I call blocks. What's a block? Well, essentially, it's something which starts off as being mostly me, where I tell you what it is we're going to be doing. I give you an introduction and I explain what it is I want you to do and how I expect you to do it. And I will also explain how I'm going to assess you, what the format of your work should be. Okay? So that's all on that page for each of the blocks of work that we're going to do. Now they're in 3 parts. The first part's where I tell you what we're going to do. It's mostly me explaining things to you and maybe giving a mini lecture, possibly in this case by video attached to my website, but the videos will sit on YouTube as they offer me space for free on my channel. The second part is where you work on something and I make myself available to give you some of what we call formative feedback. If you need to know how you are doing, how well you are doing, then this is where you find out about it. Okay? Then at some point, you are going to submit something. It could be a written piece of work. It could be in a report form. It won't be in an essay form, I'll tell you that. It might be a presentation. It could be a website. It might be a CV, a resume. It could be any particular sort of thing I choose, and I will vary the format and the form of the things that you are going to do according to what I expect you to have to do when you are working. There'll be a variety. There might also be things which are oral, spoken. I might ask you to make an audio file or a video file and send it to me. Clearly you can do that as I'm doing now with a camera on your computer or on your phone. So that's your work. You present it in whatever format I require. And then I give you what is called summative feedback, where I look at what you've done, what my instructions were, how well you've done it, and I give you not just a mark, I give you feedback to explain that mark, where you've done really well, where perhaps you could have done better, and how you might do better. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing in each of these blocks. Now, what are these blocks going to be about? Well, I can tell you that the first one is going to be a fairly brief one, which is going to be about us introducing each other. I'm partly doing this now. I'm talking to you about who I am, what we're doing together, what the course is, etc. And I'm also going to ask you to do a personal profile. The first block is going to be a personal, professional profile. I'm imagining that it's your first day at work and the boss meets you at the coffee machine and says, "Oh, hi, you remember me? I interviewed, it's Tony. Please call me Tony, don't bother with the Mr. Jolly thing. Could you do me a favour? What I really need is a profile, a personal and professional profile, not a CV, not a resume, but I need something that will interest your new colleagues and our clients to want to get to know you. So it would be helpful if we could see, yes, something about your history, but history is a bit boring. Something about you, your character, what you like, maybe your sense of humour, the things you're interested in. Okay, so I'd like you to prepare that. That's the first thing, called a personal profile, and the block instructions will give you details of exactly what I want on that. Okay, the second thing is going to be about culture and creativity. You are all either creative individuals and performers yourself, or you're aiming to work with people in the cultural field who are. Now, culture is something that's special enough, and it's embodied by another C word, creativity. You need to know about what creativity is, where it comes from, the channels that it uses to come from inside us to outside, why performers sometimes are so difficult, because they don't fit the mold, they're different, because they're creative. A famous guy who died this last weekend, unfortunately, called Ken Robinson. You can see him on TED Talks, Ken Robinson. It's a really good video or two to watch of his there. His thesis is that in schools and universities, we educate you out of creativity. We reduce your creativity. We standardize you and get you ready for the workplace. Whereas creative people cannot be standardized. They are breaking the mold. They're breaking out. They're doing something new and transformational. So you really need to understand the heart and soul of your business of culture and dealing with these people for whom creativity is the most important thing. Along with another C, communicating that creativity, which is another word for performance, I guess. So I'm going to ask you in block 2 to talk about culture and creativity, what these things are, where they come from, how we understand them. I'm going to ask you where you are creative. We're all creative somewhere. I'm going to ask you to do a creation or creativity makeover to try and see if you can be more creative in some way or other and set an assignment around that so that hopefully when you're dealing with such people, you will have a better idea of what motivates them and how to deal with them. I'm also going to this year spend a bit of time with a heading culture, creativity, yes, discontinuity and precarity. COVID. Now that has made a big dent in the creative world in some ways. Some people have forced their way out of it. They've become even more creative at home. Look at the type of things that have come up on videos because performers have been locked away on their own. And the way they fought out of that using technology to create new ways of doing things. But look at how it's hit events, venues, programming, the intermittent de spectacle and things like that. We're going to study a little bit what's been going on and will still be going on around us in that particular world. Final block, the human resource. Well, you, us. At some point, you need to be able to get yourself a job. You have to realize that things are changing. They're changing rapidly, they're changing fast, even in France. I'll say this for you and you're not going to like it. The one-page CV is dead. Yes, even in France. You're now at a level working towards a degree and a master's where a one-page CV just will not work because it cannot differentiate you from your colleagues. I need to get you to understand how employers are looking at recruitment and how desperate they are to find the right person and how that affects the way they look at recruitment and selection, and therefore how you need to think and act in terms of applying for posts, writing CVs, application forms, filling in databases, producing a LinkedIn profile that really works, and then being interviewed and selected for a post. What works? What doesn't? Yes, I am going to ask you for a covering letter, a lettre de motivation. Yes, I'm going to ask you for a CV. But my teaching on those subjects is going to be unlike perhaps anything you've had up to now. And I promise you what I'll be saying to you does work if you take it seriously. So my parting gesture for you is to try to help you to get yourself your placement, your stage, never stage by the way, that's sur scène, that's la scène, and to get yourself a good job and a good future. So that's actually the shape of what we're going to do and how we're going to be working together. I expect some of this work will be individual, some of it will be in pairs or teams, some of it will perhaps be a whole group. I might get you to brainstorm something or set you a problem and expect you to come up with a solution. But that's essentially the shape of the course we're going through. And as I am aware, virtually all of this is contained in semester 1. And at the moment, as I have concern regarding health, as does my wife, I will be doing my teaching for you at distance. I'm now about to do another short video for you, which is going to be on my approach to English teaching and what I'm hoping from you in terms of English learning. Okay? So that's the one I want you to look at next. All right, please bookmark Tonyversity. Make sure you can find it again. All right, bye for now.